Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hello. How's everyone doing today? I'm confused on the days because work and days off. Wonderful Wednesday, I think. There we go. It's a Wednesday. Work, gym, dinner, and now this. Yes, I know this is the last one said, stream doesn't end until it's over. Well, that's partially true because it said we stopped Luis today. And I stopped Luis. So therefore, it was over. But I got to 2:30 in the morning and then I saw this. I had to talk to everyone again. I could not stay up any longer. I had to go to bed. Because I'm old man, but now we do this. So I'm calling it the epilogue. We defeated Luis. Now we're going to talk to all my friends, FRENDS. And let's see what happens from there.
Come now.
When you finished your business outside the palace, please promise me you'll return to resume your duties, Your Majesty. If you take this as my pressuring you not to venture out, that's not at all. Only that as Captain of the Royal Guard, I must know your whereabouts at all time. Relax, Hulkenberg. Let's lighten up, maybe. You mean to say I'm too fussy? Well, 'tis only proper for the Captain of the Royal Guard. To be over-familiar would set a poor example. Imagine the scandalized faces of the rank and file. That said, not a day goes by that I don't reflect on our travels now. Only a year passed. I owe regaining my pride as a knight to that journey. I was but a wanderer searching in vain for the prince, and it was through you I learned he yet lived. And in the end, it was your ascent to the throne I supported.
And so.
I never tire of the faces the younger guard make when I tell them of the time you acted as witness to my duel. Brings back memories. Not only of my duel with Rodanthe, but of the journey we undertook. You were the reason I could endure the fight to the end. I'm pleased to say the knights of today are nothing like what they were under Rodanthe's command. Soldiers take up their sword not for those in power, but for the people. And as the champion of the people yourself, we will do all in our power to protect our king.
Well.
You do not make it easy by sneaking out of the palace as you do, though I suspect the soldiers are getting used to your chaotic tendencies. They know they protect not just a king, but a ruler who stands beside his people and hears their voices in clarion truth. I will protect you with my life, as I have always endeavored to do, Your Majesty. Only let me stay by your side to do so.
What do you want to do?
Now see, I probably would have been able to do that
Hey?
on the other night, Monday night / Tuesday morning, if they were actually voice acted. Oh, is everyone in town? I don't have to travel.
Pleasure to see you.
Why, hello, Your Majesty. It's been only a year since your coronation, but I see you become quite apt at sneaking away from your palatial duties. I still ride a sword. Under constant fire from knaves of all trades, con artists and critics alike, your opening act has been rather tumultuous, no? It's been tough going.
But
I'm glad we managed so far. Quite right. Your critics are loud and open with their barbs, but plenty more have put their faith in you. Besides, most of those agitators are the kind of scum that stirs the pot in hopes they might benefit from the country's turmoil. Nothing I couldn't handle, of course, all in a day's work for the royal adjutant to the Citizens' Council. You ever see words that you recognize and you know how they're supposed to sound because you've read them like in books or whatever before and you've actually heard them, but when you try to say it, you just can't do it? That's what I'm having right now with adjutant. Maybe I'm getting it right, I don't know. It doesn't sound, it sounds better in my head than it does out loud. Quite an ally I made, I should hope. I wonder if my mother would be slightest bit proud to see who I become, that I'm doing my damnedest to use my talents for good, as I always should have. Sure she would.
yes.
I hope so. I was such a problem child. I'd like to make this country where honest folk like my mother can be happy.
You mention it.
Ah, that reminds me. Do you remember Datarum, my hometown's landowner? He told me to send to you his regards. He's since confessed his crimes and is awaiting trial. You are the one who awakened his conscience. Makes sense, doesn't it? You've proven your ideals to be true. That's why the country is doing so well. There's nothing more to it. I'm hardly qualified to speak of pride, but if the country has one, it's you. I'm proud to be among its people. Perhaps under your rule, a day will come to even we Nydia can walk about freely in our true forms. Ah, you're curious about what I look like in my true form. I'd be happy to oblige, but let's save that for another time, shall we? Oh yeah, I forgot. He's Nydia, so he could look like a little baby. Oh, we got two lads right here. Hey, out inspecting again? Seems right paying to me, but appreciate you going through. Oh, has he got a fancy coat? Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, capital. I didn't even see what my options were. Captain of the Tradian Brigade reporting in, and I'm pleased to report that there's nothing to report, Your Majesty, so I'm taking a break. Bit of a mouthful in it. Still not used to calling myself a captain besides. We've even taken in some souvenirs from our survivor souvenirs. We've taken in some souvenirs. Luis's troops, you know. But don't you worry, I've got two eyes on them even when I ain't looking. Way I see it, they weren't the ones trying to make the world worse. Just gotta show them the power's supposed to be used, yeah? We owe it to you that there's less discrimination in the city these days. Fewer and fewer are turning a life to crime to make ends meet. If Del could see Grand Trod today, his eyes would bug out, and not just Del. A lot of guys who didn't make it. Vinka?
Yeah.
You remember him. The damned experiments trapped him in a vengeance he couldn't see past, but I feel like he might smile seeing what I'm up to now. We built this peace with a lot of blood and tears, so I say those didn't know to protect it. Maybe I've got nothing to report today, but it's not like bad people just stopping and being bad because you know you're a king now. You've been through a lot, though, so thanks for not giving up on us, or the world for that matter. You spot any trouble that I didn't spot first, you just point me at it, I'll solve it quick like. Oh? Well, I see our king is out on some personal business, eh? I believe Hulkenberg was searching for you, but I suppose it's none of my business who comes or goes. I'm on break myself. Nice me a little hat. Only try not to frustrate your royal guards over much, They all take their duties quite seriously, much like their captain. Bah, who am I kidding? A knight who smiles is surely a myth. That's become clear to me since becoming tilted, I almost said. What could be more bizarre? A UG outcast, once a wanted criminal with a bounty on his head, made knight commander. There was, of course, some opposition at first, but the more heart-to-heart talks I've had, the more accepting they become, albeit gradually. Outcast became king, too. No further than outcast became their king.
True.
Indeed. You face no shortage of persecution, and look at you now. Grand titles and posts across the nation are no different, spread across all the tribes. I've realized over the past year just how much a nation is defined by its people. No matter how great a king, he alone does not a country make.
However,
Yet he stands for those people, a symbol and representative. That the king and those around him are mixed tribes, it has already caused a great shift in sentiment, even for those in the rural villages. How is Tadari?
Now that you mention it.
yes.
He seems as busy as he can handle now that they've resumed trade with other villages. Their coronation inspired the village to greater heights. It proved that barriers can be broken, and that even they could take the first step. New winds are blowing in every corner of the country. I'll have to make another trip back home with my son to see the changes for myself soon enough. And someday, I hope distant generations will grow up knowing conflict born of will grow up only knowing conflict born of tribal differences from history books. We have a ways to go before that day comes, but until it does, let us forge a path ahead, Your Majesty. Oh yeah. Technically, I'm looking for Maria.
That's the way. Peace.
It's just too much.
Oh, it's that guy. Right. Gold beetles from all over your kingdom as well. Oh, I still have gold beetles. I wonder what I could have got from him. Oh ho ho! Well, that's good.
So, we meet again.
Ha 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 ha!
This is alright.
I don't know how many times I see it, the king walking out of the honeybee. He's pretty much looking how compared to last year. Luis had ended up king. Who knows where we'd be now? Dead. Or humans. There was that whole tournament nonsense. Nobody would keep their mouth shut while that was going on. Or as a damn fool like me was concerned, the whole lot of you might as well have been telling the truth. You and Louise were just two sides of the same coin. Take no offense, will ya? Not like I can tell a lie from the truth if I tried. Yeah. Ain't this a pickle? Is there any more people in this section I need to talk to? I'll go this way in case, like...
I sure don't want to go back to your kingdom.
Incredulous. Oh.
Huh. Wow, Elda. Is that the tooth? Tooth, you got a painting on the wall. Not all humans were bad. There are the tooth and the teeth in the dungeons that would talk to me.
Oh, very nice.
There's Julian. Nothing will change. He'll forget about me. He'll forget I was even here. I'll help all who need it. Help, you say? You've been saying that a lot, haven't you? I've been watching you for a while, for a long time, here in the corner of the city. I hate people who see a parapet like me with no place to go and pretend they see nothing. Don't forget that. Uh-huh. Is he making a remark that I probably never talked to him? Rumors of the king about in Sunshade Row were true. Haha, I've no attention Brian now. Not sure what to do.
Oh, very nice.
Julian.
Well, well.
He's selling books.
Yes.
Whatever, dude.
Welcome.
Uh-huh.
Thank you kindly.
Over here. Nothing.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know why I'm talking to. Mm-hmm.
Oh, very nice.
Do 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 do.
Your patronage is
Oh,
very
it's you.
appreciated.
Yep.
Oh, but which action to undertake?
We just had a guest in the store claiming to be the chief of the air. Uh-huh. Whoa.
Say there.
He wants to get down with the chief. Or Denny.
Stupendous.
I'm the
Stupendous. Yeah.
Stupendous.
Stupendous. Even now, as the king, Gallica still controls where I can go. Oh, it's this guy. Bastard, was it? Uh-huh.
I'm left with no choice.
There you go.
Young man.
Young man. Young man.
Very good. Very good.
Fancy a chat?
All right, who's this? Katrina.
Hi there.
Oh, well, if it ain't the big man himself. Good timing, mate. I just got back into town myself. Long time no see.
Oh, right.
Ain't it been? I've been traveling since I took the reins on the Seekers recon team. Hard to believe it's been half a year. Crazy. Doesn't begin to describe what's beyond the sea. The sights, the magic, everything's so fantastic. I'm already itching to get back out there. Well, I'm not especially keen on dodging the bloody cannonballs if my ship gets too close. Lots of tension out there, but what country isn't a little tense? Everything from the customs all the way, customs the way they think is so different. My head spins. Makes all the tribal bickering seem right dull, if I can speak my mind. If this country's changing for the better, I'm glad I turned over the throne to you. Appreciate it.
Hold on.
Oh, come on, I'm just roasting you. After we knocked heads, I knew I could trust you with making the lives of up Parapus better than they was. All my cohorts have found jobs, and some of them even have picked up a new skills from being out in sea so long.
Soon, I hope.
Don't worry, your kingly head, I'll have it whipped up and report for you. Do something proper kingish with it, yeah?
Aha.
I really want to talk to all these people. I just hate missing out on any little bits and pieces.
Yeah?
What about them? Oh boy.
What should I do?
Hello. It's quite some time, has it? You've matured a great deal in the short years since I last saw you. Rumors of your rule have reached even the sanctum. Some are kinder than others. Taking the reins of a runaway country must have its share of difficulties. Your face tells me as much. The frail child who could do little more than lie on the brink of death has come so far. Goodness, tears comes with the old age. Grateful. I did nothing. You're the one who achieved everything. I received a rather forceful invitation here, you see, from one of your friends, a girl named Juna. Goodness knows how many times she's already come to visit the sanctum seeking instruction on magic. Some of the villagers are rather smitten with her. She declared that if I wouldn't feel welcome coming to Grand Trad, she would have a highway built directly between the capital and the sanctum. There you have it then, King. 1,000-year seclusion in the Elder Tribe may soon come to an end under your guidance. And yet the journey ahead of you will be hard. The dreams you hope to achieve are just out of reach. Huh?
Wonderful, isn't it?
Wonderful. Russell. Oh, Gallica, your highness as well. Ah, but that's no longer the title. Excuse me, your majesty. Still knowing that the New Year celebrations were just around the corner, I couldn't resist returning to the capital to see how the kingdom was faring. Has it been kind to you? Indeed. I need only look upon their smiling faces to see the city feels alive again. I must say I never imagined I'd return here without a great deal of work with Lady Juna. Uh-huh. The Highness still opens her. Alcest, are you seeing this as well? Yep. A doddering old fool found a new role to find the middle of the ground. Yep.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, who's over here?
Grand, isn't it?
Oh, a Stroll. Hey, Stroll. I'm out for a stroll. Get it?
Hey,
Skulking about the city again, are we? Which is to say Hulkenberg is on the hunt. A classic game of cat and mouse, though who is which I dare not say. It's been a year since you ascended the throne, but it's like you've hardly changed. I could say the same of you. You haven't changed much either, Stroll. You're just wearing a cape now. Ahem, that's Lord or General Stroll, Your Majesty. Ha ha ha, I'll never get used to such titles. I really should take a page from Juna's book. She has a gift for delegating, like she was born to do so. Not that I can talk, I actually came out for a bit of a breather myself.
So,
You know, I see now that even those at the top have their struggles. A little too early. General's duties feel overwhelming at times, clearly. But there are lives hanging in the balance. I recognize the weight of every decision I make, and I do find satisfaction in protecting those lives. Remember our first meeting back at the recruitment center? A fallen noble with nothing more to my name, and you a struggling Elda traveler. Back then, my only goal was getting ahead. My people were a little more than an afterthought. If I hadn't met you, I'd have never realized the truth about my fortune, my father's intentions, and I certainly couldn't have saved the Hallians.
thank you.
I owe you. Alright. Hey, give yourself some credit.
That's... No.
I would still owe any credit I could take to you for showing me the way.
Hey.
The road ahead would be full of challenges we can't possibly foresee, but show me the way and I'll blaze the trail, now and always.
That's why.
Our titles may have changed, but I'd like to think our friendship is steadfast as ever. Don't hesitate to rely on me now and always. Ooh. Oh, it's you.
Oh.
Not just giving you a hard time. When I saw the horror that Zorba had become, I knew the world he wanted was no world of mine. Uh-huh. I thought I found my place to do private forces, discuss shameless corruption in the royal army, but his true intentions were worse than I could imagine. It was the general who pulled me back in. He said my experience leading a force of mixed tribes would be invaluable.
May God keep
Who knows? Who's this? Bardon.
That's something.
What an unexpected coincidence, Your Majesty. No guards with you today. Ha, don't worry, I'm no tattletale. I myself just left a meeting now over the provincial governments are doing. We convened for the new year. You must. How are things in Martira?
So.
Oh, it's lively as it used to be, and we owe it all to you, Your Majesty. The dodgy mess you cleaned up for us feels like ancient history now. And I'm pleased to report, as head of the provincial lords, nothing but good news reaching my ears. Better relations between towns as employment up and overall welfare too. Each town has specialties and wisdom to offer. And when we combine our heads, there's no problem we can't solve. I just feel so blessed to be part of it. I know I made some blunders when I first stepped into the governor's role, but I'm happy to share my failings so others don't repeat my mistakes. That brings me back.
Good to see you.
I know I was trying to do too much on my own back then, and I got a bit overzealous. Or some lords are like I was once and would rather manage things at their sole discretion than leave things to the people. And yes, taking every matter to public opinion can be laborious, but with all the proceedings and disputes, still changing our own lives with our own hands makes the process worth the trouble. And choosing a king of our own will was all the inspiration we needed for change. Cool. I can go in here. Got any hunts? Oh. Uh-huh. I mean, Your Majesty's here, and General Strolls as well. I was quite surprised to discover that the two of you had met here, to think that they deployed the future king in the army. Horrifying. You know what I never checked? I remember at the beginning it said something about this board and Katharina being at the top. I wonder if I would have came in here and checked later on if I would have been at the top of the thing. Which we'll never know now.
Lovely that.
Lovely that. Ah.
All right then.
My
Oh hey, I bought stuff from you.
my
I'm sorry, how... What?
Oh, my.
Stop saying that. Oh, hello, ex-candidate Boomer Goddard.
Right.
Well, if it isn't your majesty, it's been a year since you've ascended to the throne, and a quick one at that. Feels like the strife with Luis was but a bad dream. Had you asked me then, I would have been wringing my hands about one so young leading the kingdom, but now I'm embarrassed to have thought it. You had a keen eye to recognize the danger Luis posed, and are braver still to have fought him. You had a kingly caliber, and I never truly possessed. Still, a single year is but a drop in the proverbial bucket. Stay vigilant, King. Can I go over here? Oh, guess not. How many more people do I have? Juna, Yufa,
Ain't this a pickle?
Nuris, Brigitta. Okay.
Ain't this a pickle?
Wonderful.
Hey, Denny. Hello there, Your Majesty. It's great to see you doing well as ever. I just left a meeting with the provincial lords. I was also started teaching in various areas. The opportunity arises. Many still push back against such teaching, but that's perfectly fine. A country is well served by different perspectives. Many of the villagers have come around to this too, you know. I think that's because you all face such danger on our behalf. Still, it won't be easy to change the entire Uchronia. Its history is embedded deep in its roots. The country is larger, so people will need will need all the power that you have. The true test of your values has only just begun.
Make on.
Oh, hi.
All right.
Are you surveying the city incognito, Your Majesty? Your escorts would be aghast. Not that I think anyone is truly capable of harming you. As you are aware, faith in the Sanctus Church plummeted after our misdeeds were exposed. I admit we were arrogant and unjust, wicked in custom, but people have found salvation through the Church as well. I intend to restore the Sanctus Church to its true purpose, to offer salvation to those in need. As Sanctiarch, and as someone who has saved and who was saved by the Sanctus faith myself, that is all I can do to return the favor.
Keep your
Can I go inside? Oh, alright, well, it's not. Oh, hello, Yupa.
greetings.
Nice cloak. Working hard as ever? Were you going about town and listening to what people have to say? Myself, I've just come from the Crown Court, where I've been consulting with people about the grievances and disputes as Chief Magistrate. Didn't you delegate that?
Well,
That's a question I shall throw right back at you, Your Majesty. As you're undoubtedly aware, in the past many citizens were sentenced to hang without so much as a trial. I am pleased to report things are different now, thank God. Thank the God, closure. Anyone regardless of race or status can tell their side of the story in court and be judged equally and fairly. It just goes to show anything is possible, even for a priestess to become a chief magistrate. And my brother is making great strides as village chief. He rather hated that role before, but he's truly found his calling, I think.
Isn't it?
As I said, no one knows what the future holds. It's all the more reason I try to guide people to good choices. I want to live in a society that practices kindness, where those who suffer need not turn to crime. And so I practice what I preach.
Now that you
The other day, I went to visit Ovi's church to inquire with those who were sick about how the kingdom can be more accessible to them. How is Ovi?
very well.
Yes, we practiced dancing together, and then we showed her mother. All of them are ready to ease into working again. Hearing them made me reflect on all the people who still need our help. Until now, the only hope those people had was God.
I do believe.
I want to fight for them to have options under laws and systems that they can rely on in addition to higher power. A country where all tribes with all their values can join hands in harmony. That's what we need. You aim to achieve that too, yes, Your Majesty? I hope you'll allow me to keep walking alongside you in this. Brigitta! The king himself out browsing the shops. Perhaps I need to draft up a royal certificate of appointment. Tell the world we supply goods to the royal family. Any recommendations? One igniter in particular, in fact, though I'm afraid we're all sold out of it at the moment. The igniter I made at the children's request, the one that lights up with rainbow colors, is selling startlingly well. The store is packed with families and children. I now hold a position where I control the distribution of all manner of goods throughout the kingdom as the head of the Igniter Consortium. I can't help but think that if I had been in the position sooner, then the church's violence, the tragedy of that village could have been prevented. Let's focus on the present.
Brigitte.
Yes.
Indeed, I can dwell on the past all I wish, but I won't change it. The future, on the other hand. I took up this post after I was nominated by my colleagues. In other words, I suppose that means people have expectations of me, and that I, too, am a spoke in the wheel of change. Our new king has changed his country for the better. However, as a former arms dealer, it would be naive to think all weapons can ever disappear from this world. It's all the more reason I hope that the reasons for people to wield them continue to decline. To that end, I'll continue doing all that I possibly can with all that I am, just as you do. Ah, yes, you remember my dog? I found the ones who took her. Naturally, I considered ending their lives. But there she was, sitting beside them. Evidently, they could not bring themselves to harm such a sweet creature, so they decided to keep her instead. I had no choice but to spare their lives. I couldn't subject a gentle dog to the atrocities I'd commit in her name. You should come play with her sometime. I'm sure she remembers you. Oh, good. Your dog was fine the whole time.
Come again.
Ain't this a pickle?
Oh, it's you. Lark. Uh-huh.
You've got this under control, yeah?
Did it?
Ain't this a pickle?
Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Ain't this a pickle?
You always hated me. Oh, wrong Elna. Oh, what's this thing? That always there and I just never noticed it.
Aha. I'm sure we'll meet again.
Lady Juna, are you the only one left? Besides Nuris? I'll save Juna for last. Ex-candidate Rudolph.
Yes, hello.
To think that you, of all people, would become anything. I never expected it, but I will tell you one thing. Wax poetic about your ideals all you want, but when it comes to protecting the country, only power will suffice. People don't all approve of a dreamer king. You want to talk about power, dude? Did you not see what I did to fucking Luis? Huh. I want to say, who are you? But I'm going to say, I won't let you down.
That's so.
All right. Well, I should have said, who are you? What?
Oi!
I remember me?
An elder?
Not openly, anyway.
Now, how did I wind up here?
Amazing.
I'm leaving. Will it let me go? Oh. Should have known better.
Amazing.
Uh-huh. Oh, you. Yep. I can actually go inside, huh? Idle's Day. Can I poop? I'd still get +1 luck.
Right.
Oh, it didn't give me the luck. Maybe not now. No. Maybe not now. It just says maybe not now, not actually not now. Maybe not now, but maybe now. I'm just fucking around. I just want to see if there's anything that... Wait, what? In the end, I never found out what this powder was. It was, Nurse's cocaine. Meh, 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 meh. Maybe not now. Maybe now. I'm fiddling on her face too, have you? I know how it is. I have the fancy old title of Chief Engineer of the Kingdom Infrastructure Development Bureau. I can research as I please now, but something's missing. So I threw off that stuffy old uniform and came to gaze upon the runner in the way I do. I know how you feel.
About that. Oh.
I knew you would agree. I think my bones are aching to feel the wind. Are the mist days of dashing hither and thither in the runner?
Perhaps.
Not that I'm ungrateful for the gracious title you've given to the band who used to skulk about modifying gauntlet runners. You haven't seen anything yet. Why, one day I'll invent a teleportation device that will deliver fresh fish straight from the ocean, straight from Oceania to your palatial plates. It would change the world, wouldn't you say? Just a bit, stuck at the beginning on the development.
Indeed.
And it's times like this I need stimulation of the mind. Do you have anything that might do the trick?
That's.
Don't pretend you didn't enjoy it. Every time you'd pop back in with one, I remember how I could hardly contain my excitement. I do so miss traveling like that. Even if the relics themselves are better off left untouched, they become the guiding principles of my research, you know? Convenience is important, but one must consider safety and the effects it might have on the world. An engineer who dumps burden on future generations is no engineer at all. Still, it's no small feat to design with a perfect balance of safe and revolutionary. Even I struggle with it, and I'm a bally genius. I knew it. What I need is stimulant law, Your Majesty. You know, like the soul shaking soon. There, want to go for a spin, won't you? Let's go right now. Let's get the gang back together and go. All right, Juna. Look at you in your little outfit. Ah, there you are. Heard you were in town, so I decided to see if we might cross paths. I have so much to tell you about my inspection, so I'm afraid you need to clear your diary for me soon. Bring any souvenirs?
In that case.
Gosh.
Let's just focus on the report. Don't worry, I'll give you just the gist firstly.
Well,
The Mage Academy's reconstruction is going swimming. Repairs are in full swing, and we're already processing admissions. I must say, I'm still surprised you appointed me, of all people, to be the Academy's head mistress. I was rather looking forward to going back on our tour as a songstress. Oh, and shall I introduce you to my furry little friend? I scooped him up in the Academy of all places. My god, it's fucking Plateau. During the reconstruction, they stumbled on a little guy in some kind of observatory, supposedly used by a king long ago. The Academia. Considering the igniter around his neck, I'm sure he was being taken care of. I mean, there's no way a cat would survive alone in that cold, could he?
So,
Regardless, my mysterious kitty is only the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to the academy, all that knowledge was lost when it fell, so we're starting from scratch. It may even be hiding secrets as big as the Dragon Temple or the Sanctum. Oh, and I'm keeping the cat. Feels like fate, you know?
speaking of which,
Speaking of fate, on my way back, I met up with Meredith. She's well, I trust.
Now we're talking.
She's been keeping well, I hope. More than well. Her throat has been fine, and she's a fairly prominent singer about town now. We both just keep soaring to new heights. Her and music and me coming face to face with magic again. Is your sister still encapsulated in ice in front of the tower?
hey,
Surely you remember music was the first magic born in this world, yes? When the heart expresses itself through music, it moves the hearts of others, and when they make the hearts swell, why, there's no end to the magic. Just you watch. With music and magic at my side, I'm going to change the world. All will have equal opportunity to hone their talents in the Mage Academy. Our doors are open to all. That's what my sister would have wanted, and if it makes the world a better place, why, isn't that just grand?
magic.
Rella taught me that magic is more than a tool. It's in all of us, deep in our hearts. Hello, cat.
Wait a sec.
I just think he's cute.
Good kitty.
That's good, kitty. Dear me. All right, I've talked to everyone. I just got to go find Maria, who is apparently in front of the cathedral. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, it's you. I not have been able to.
Yeah.
Where's the other ones actually? Where's like Lena and
Keep your child.
Loveless?
Stay there.
Grand, innit?
Wonderful. Very good. Very good indeed.
Wonderful, isn't it?
I'm not gonna go looking for all of them for a long time. I'm just gonna give a quick. Oh, how am I gonna get lost in my own city? I'm the king. I wonder if they're not even in here. But it'd feel weird that they wouldn't put them here.
You there.
Fancy a chat?
Oh well, I'm moving on.
Grand,
Wonderful.
So? That reminds me.
Yeah, she was. Your ideals are really coming to fruition now. I can feel it. That reminds me, what's up with the book you're carrying around now? Is that the one you've been working on yourself? I'm excited to see what kind of fantasy you can conjure up. But maybe that's not even the word for it. After all, you're the one putting it in ink. That means you're going to make it a reality someday. Now then, Your Majesty, shall we get going? Hello, Maria.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, good, it's actually talking.
Oh, right. I suppose now I should call you Your Majesty. You know, I was just telling Papa, even through all that mess, everyone's really been working hard.
Am I keeping my promise properly from back then?
Yes, you beat the villain, and now the city's full of smiles. And I'm sure Papa's smiling down on you too.
That's good. Hearing that from you really lifts my heart.
It's a joy to see kids like her smile. The future changes slowly, and the burden of its momentum will fall on their shoulders one day.
Don't worry. I'll try to do my part with what I've got. I want to help everyone understand that the world could be a better place if we can join hands with one another. Miss Fabian's fed so many hungry people since things changed. Some of those people even said they found their place there. I think I did too. If we can all change together for the better like that, we'll be closer to your Majesties and Papa's dream.
A place where I ought to be. Son of myself I ought to show. The path is never clear.
I want to help with something too. I want everyone across the land to be able to smile.
You make a trusty advisor.
Yes. I expect great things, my trusty advisor.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Majesty. Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
We should be the ones thanking her.
Oh boy, the gang's all here.
The entire country's future in her smile.
There they are.
Everyone!
Long time no see. How have you been?
As we find ourselves afield, I thought I might visit Alsace myself.
Hold on a tick. Those people there. Surely not.
Thus.
Naturally, we're drawing attention. We didn't all have to go at once.
Yeah, we did.
It's been too long since we were all together again anyway.
Yeah. The gang's all here.
Lady Tuna, did she really come all this way in a runner? Could have asked His Majesty to pop over and bring you back with a teleport or two.
The unmitigated nerve.
Oh, it's fine. I wanted to take in our country as it is. It's definitely a little rougher outside the capital's walls. There's still traces of melancholia around, and the odd human roaming about.
We're sending soldiers out for every incident we can. But it's not easy to hear the voice of the people from more distant regions.
Guess it's obvious. But just because you're king now doesn't make you suddenly all-seeing.
A lesson I learned last year. In the end, I was blind to a great deal of this world. Never would have learned if I hadn't pushed out the door and seen it with my own eyes.
He's right. The capital can be a bit of a bubble. There will always be more to do and learn beyond its walls. What if they said there's a human over here, and then I'm like, all right, gang, let's get together. Get your archetypes ready. We're going to go fucking destroy it.
I would have just said we could fly over ourselves. I mean, let's be real. The capital isn't going to fall apart if we just sneak over for a little tour, is it?
Of course not. We specifically put precautions in place to keep things running.
Yet it has only been 1 year. We cannot be too complacent too soon, lest the dissidents seize on the opportunity.
Oh, there he is! Over there! See? I told you that's His Majesty, innit? Might have been a bit too obvious.
Oi there, Your Majesty!
Yeah, what's up?
You dare hoy the king? You swine!
Oi!
Steady on, Hulkenberg, calm. You needn't draw steel on the poor fellow. We're the ones who indulged in this little day trip.
Your Majesty, thanks for all you do, really. Have to say, my life's a lot easier now.
There's more work to do every day. But we're in this together. We believe in you. Everyone's so supportive.
Not everyone.
Kind of brings back memories from last year.
Rather. It's the sort of thing to get a chap all misty-eyed over the past. What a journey it was.
We really did just leg it up and down the country slaying dragons, eh?
Yeah.
Can't believe we actually survived it.
They were dangerous times, but exciting ones too.
When we fought to appease the dragon god, I had no idea we would have to face another 4 dragons.
Nor I. Never thought the day would come when I'd be hailed as a dragon slayer. Life is full of surprises.
Right.
I resolve to believe in my ideals no matter what may come, even back then. Even if the world is slow to change, a king's beliefs can never waver.
It was a hard road, but we did have fun together, didn't we?
Looks like we're drawing a crowd. Time to get back to work.
Indeed. A veritable mountain of tasks awaits us, and I will see it crested.
And not long after, the new year dawned.
Some days later.
A journey? Are you really planning on leaving us?
There's more I have to see.
There's more I have to see. With my own eyes.
You want to know what's going on in the world, huh? Well, I guess you are the king.
Sounds like fun, but a daily jaunt down to the slums is one thing, and a proper journey is quite another. You're a king now, lad. You've got the people's expectations on your shoulders. It's all right to just sit on your throne and mind the home front, you know?
I want to do what I can for the people. If that's not kingly, then the crown's just slowing me down.
Come on, this is no time for jokes.
Never the fearless gadabout, eh? Well, I take your point back. Magla and the humans make a fine barometer for the anxiety still swirling in the country. So you go out and give it a proper survey, where it is and how much is there. If people can't face their anxieties, they can't keep their eyes forward. And if they can't do that, we'll have a bally hard time moving forward as a nation
Bally hard.
or a people. So you want to get a better grasp of it all. That's your most important duty as a ruler. That's what you're thinking, eh?
Right.
Even the most faraway venture begins with the belief that it can be realized, so I'll press onward. That's the best I can do.
If that was your plan, you could have just said so.
Sounds like a fine idea to me. A proper spot of fun, besides. Wouldn't expect any less from our king and captain. Well, since I'm the ballet court engineer, I've no choice but to come along. I'm the only driver fit to maneuver the Royal Skyrunner after all. And why, you're the Dragon Slayer King, bane of monsters all across the country. When I imagine what sort of wondrous encounters you've got next, well, I'm all agog.
I'm all agog too.
Here begins our quest anew. Let us sally forth upon our... hello? Are you not listening to me?
Sire, you've really got to stop chasing these ideas all on your own. You'll be the death of us.
Once again, sire, I've asked you countless times to give word if you're to leave the castle. Such caprice.
Nurse, don't tell me you called for them beforehand.
Saved us a bit of time, eh? Hello, what's this? I count only 2 of the 6 partisans. Short a few spears.
For my part, I believe 'tis unrealistic for all of us to depart the capital together.
Oh, so you have no plans to stop our little adventure, eh?
Hulkenberg and I talked it over. We decided that if you insist on going, we'd rather go with you than stop you.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about this?
I was thinking back to our last fight with Louis. So many people supported us, but not for any high-minded ideals or arguments.
They were supporting us because we were actively fighting a monster on their behalf. In the end, people make choices based on their personal experience and emotion. Even if decided justly and supported by prosperity, people may struggle to trust a king whose face they do not know. An invisible ruler is no cure for their fears.
Right. I'm not opposed to the idea of getting out into the world again. Really, It might be the wisest move to make sure you're a king everyone knows.
My friends and allies believe as I do. Their support is the greatest treasure I could have.
Still, this early into the new year? 'Tis never a dull moment in your majesty's employ.
Yeah.
Bit of a smaller party than we last set out with, but it's a pleasure to be on the road again with you.
Okay, but can we really afford to have both our general and the Royal Guard's captain coming along for this?
'Tis natural course for the Royal Guard to accompany the king. And I trust my corps is not so feeble that it will fall apart in my absence.
We'll make it work. Got to learn to trust others and delegate, right? We'll just have to lead by example.
Then let's go.
Right then, let's go.
So no Heisme.
You once heard my voice and answered a query in kind.
Oh.
Is fantasy a powerless creation?
Yeah.
That timeless question. So long as life remains in the world, we seekers all shall search for our answer. But he will find his. Of that I am certain. And it is thanks to you for believing in and guiding him. That was the true purpose of my royal magic, you know. To seek and obtain guidance from denizens of a land beyond ours. A land that has not yet lost hope. And it was you who answered the call.
I answered it.
Armed
Well,
with your hope, armed with the power of fantasy, you rose in glory. Such courage, such whimsy, and yes, what thrills. You have my sincerest thanks.
you're welcome. Anime.
Feels familiar. It's been far too long.
Aye, the wind feels an echo of days past.
Unusually poetic for you.
Heisme.
They're awful, aren't they?
They're all here.
Left us behind. Oh.
Well, I'm not certain we're in a position to talk, having followed straight after, saying we could just teleport back.
Well, hey, we figured the kids might want to change your scenery, like.
Oh, we're bringing Maria along.
Amazing!
Poetic indeed. That the scepter's absence restored order to Magla, and even greenery to the sands.
I'll say, I definitely like this view better.
Let's go.
Hi, Loon. I mean the game, Loon. Want to come up here and say hello? You're gonna meow at me and then walk away like you always do? Oh. There we go. That was good. Now I have one thing to do, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. See if I get the platinum trophy at the end of this. But I think last time I checked, I needed like 7, and I'd only gotten 2 since then. And I know one of them is that one. It counts towards a number. So I think there's like 4 or 5 things that I still need to do. Maybe more. I don't know. I can't remember what the count was. So, I guess I could say my biggest complaint was the locking on, which is not a really big one, I felt like it wasn't very noticeable. I felt like a lot of times I wouldn't know that I was already locked on to an enemy in the overworld combat, and then I would hit the lock on button and unlock on, and then I'd swing, but I wasn't locked on, and then it would hit me, and I'm like, God damn it. Which wasn't so bad when I was, you know, fighting things that weren't as strong as me, but it was really a pain in the butt when it would get to, like, you know, combat that would cause enemies to have the advantage. But that's nothing. The other thing was, of course, just the other night, in the one of the last dungeons, the Sky Avatar, just that whole one section. It was like the Dragon Temple where you had to find the right doors to go through. At least in the Dragon Temple, you could follow the light to get through the right path. This one was just like, oh, look at the map, pick a door, and hope for the best. Even though Kat was trying to explain to me how it worked, I think I got frustrated because I was doing it on stream, and I was feeling pressured to hurry up and figure it out. That's probably why I gave up on it. I bet if I was just like playing it off stream and just on my own, taking the time to try to figure it out, I could have, but I don't know. I also don't think it was a good, I don't know. I just didn't particularly, even knowing that I probably could have figured it out, I just particularly didn't like it. That was it. Yeah, there were times I got frustrated, but that's just like any game when you're on the losing end. But, you know, a lot of times when that happened, I just immediately like said, okay, here's how I lost, reset, reorganized my team, and readjusted my tactics and made it through. So, and that's one of the things I did like about this is how everybody was interchangeable. You know, not like in the Persona where all of your friends, like, this is their persona. This is the abilities they have, and that's the abilities they're going to have. Only you can change. I like that I could just take my whole team, like, all right. It really helped make it so, like, I mean, yeah, granted, some people had better stats than other things, but it really felt like, you know, into Persona games, you have to bring different people to fit the parts. Where this one, it was just like preference. Like, who do you want in your party? Because then you could just like, if you want Heisman in your party, you could have Heisman in your party, and you can make him the fucking goddamn Persona Master if you wanted to, or the Devil Summoner. You can have Stroll. Like, I had Stroll as a wizard for so long, but he was the warrior line. So it was really fun and awesome that you could really just mold your team the way you wanted it to be. Granted, yeah, you know, maybe if you made like Stroll more physical, he'd probably have better stats because, you know, he had his normal level up stats. So I'm sure they probably geared towards like strength and endurance and stuff, or strength more, but still. But I just really like the whole idea of just, I want Heisme and Juna and Yufa, and this is going to be my team. So, I mean, I didn't get a chance to play around with a lot of the jobs. It just kind of seemed like once you had things mastered, you didn't really need to play that job. It's like you could just be like, you know what? I'm just throwing points at the mastering of it. Like the fact that you could farm Leaves of Light and roots and stuff like that and never have to play a job to get some of it, to get its abilities. I'm on the fence about it. I liked it. I mean, I was clearly addicted to the overworld leveling. Oh, I gotta see the Halo. And entertainers. I'm just seeing if I recognize any. Val did a fantastic job. Good job, everybody. But yeah, I was clearly enjoyed the. It made like grinding easier compared to like some of the in the Persona games where like you'd have to get into every fight. Being able to just like grind out things with overworld combat was a nice touch. But I mean, like I said, I didn't hate it, but I wish there was maybe a little more incentive to play some of the other archetypes. Like maybe like restricting the Leaves of Light and stuff. Like up to level 15 or something, or maybe you can't use them until except on jobs past a certain level, like so you can at least have to play each job a little bit at least, but it's fine. It's not a deal breaker because once you got like certain things, like it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna slap on the merchant and just make a ton of money, or I'm gonna slap on a mage and get all of my MP back. And that'll take a long time because you only got 1 MP per monster, but you can do it. And I did it in that first dungeon in the demo. That's how I got my characters to like level 20 something before the actual main game came out. But what I did like that even though I was over leveled, when I got into an actual squad battle, if I made a mistake, I was still getting wrecked by enemies that were 10, 15 levels lower than me for one mistake. So it wasn't like I felt like being over leveled was only came in handy for the overworld combat, because you could just wipe everything out, keep making money, keep getting XP, keep getting the Leaves of Light and stuff like that, and just going through it. Because all it took was just one mistake. I mean, even the dragons, they were like, I was higher level than the dragons, and they still obliterated me if I didn't respect their mechanic. Now, my last nitpick, and I say nitpick as I listen to this amazing song, is the music. Now, the music's great. The reason I'm nitpicky is because I think I got my own expectations too high, and I was expecting like some like Atlas Persona bangers, you know, like from previous Persona games. Didn't get any of those here, but the music that they did have was great and it fit the setting. So that's why I call it a nitpick. The Great Seeker Brit!
From a world I shall never know. In your eyes, I know our journey was ultimately a fiction.
Oh.
However, I hope your memories of this fantastical adventure burn as bright in your reality. I hope the promise of our world echoes in you. With all my heart, I hope that fantasy gives you strength.
Gets me. Is that Rodriguez?
Look at that. The rubble's just bait for tourists now.
I never expected a view like this.
Let's see it all. Let's see the world.
Yeah.
A new journey now beckons. In days of eld, the people prospered and perished in turn. Struck by their ways, I wrote a book of my dearest ideas. A tale of fantasy. In my vision, they placed their trust, and so the kingdom breathed new life.
The strength to believe in the unknown, that can change everything.
Without a doubt, you will face all sorts of trials ahead. But carry onward with all your heart. Onward, fearless, into a world unknown.
Ah. Trophy. Currently owned items, with some exceptions: money, mag, royal virtues, scanned enemies, memorandum, archetype statuses, and total playtime. That's it. Whew. So I guess that wasn't total progress. Nice. All right, so let's look at what I didn't brought about True Peace. Let's see what I didn't get. All right. The Traveler has acquired all. Oh, this is the first one. Usually, I wonder if that's a different. All right, let's see what I didn't get. Hidden Trophy. Defeat the red scale dragon from the Book of the Apocalypse. How do you do that? Star Shatter. Defeated Destroyer Charadrius, wielder of power. How do I do that? Got all these. Made all possible gold beetle exchanges. I never did beetles with the men. All right. And what else do we got? How did I get 38 of 44? So 6 minus the platinum. So 5 is my count was correct. Won a debate against every candidate. Oh, I did that like a couple of times. I didn't think it would be a thing. Okay. Traveled a significant distance by blade riding. I felt like I did travel a significant. How significant is the distance then? Jesus. Oh, that's it. Okay, so I have to travel. I have to ride my blade. I have to win a debate against every candidate. I need to make all the gold beetle exchanges. And then the 2 hidden trophies, which I don't know how. Star Shatterer and closing the book. All right, well, I guess I'll figure out how I come about those. And we'll figure it out later. Because I'll have to do the new game plus to do the gold beetle, to ride the sword. And what was the other one? Oh, win a debate against every candidate. So yeah. Thank you all so much for going on this amazing journey with me, and we're gonna do more of it. Let's see, will we start that tomorrow? There's a very good chance we could start that tomorrow night, but not guaranteed because the schedule is all wonky this week for work. As normally I would have tomorrow and Friday off, but I had Tuesday and Monday off. So I'll be working all the way up until next Thursday. Sunday is still, I'm still dedicating that time for the Yakuza 5. So just stay tuned. If I can get on, the reason I don't know about tomorrow is because I get off work, hit the gym. If I start tomorrow night, which is a good chance I will, I can't go too late because I have to open the store on Friday. That's one of the reasons this whole shit, which means I have to get up at like 6:30 in the morning. Anyway, I'm rambling on. It's 10:30. This was amazing, and I can't wait to try to get all of these trophies. So until then, everybody, take care of yourselves and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.